So welcome everyone. Thanks for tuning in and clicking on this video. I am here with our first featured member of 2023 with Shelley. So congratulations, Shelley. Thank you for being here with me today. I'm so excited to share a little bit of your story. And I actually was just chatting with you before we hopped on here of how sincerely proud I am of the progress that you've made, especially in the last kind of 6 months or so, signing up for our Love Your Body program, really committing to doing the deep dive and really asking those questions and getting to know your body in a new way, getting to experience food and movement in a new way, and being really open to that kind of experience. So I'm really proud of you and I'm so excited to share. So let's dive right in. Let's start with how long have you been a Loyobo member and what initially inspired you to join the community?
I have been a member now. I think the first time I came was a few years ago, about 3 years ago. I came to Loyobo on a guest pass with my wonderful daughter, Taylor, and I just absolutely loved it, the movement. I did a few tone and flex class. I did Zumba. I did yoga, and I absolutely loved it remotely and in person back then. And yeah, so I will say definitely inspired by my wonderful daughter, Taylor. She's teaching me things.
I feel like we're all inspired by her on a regular basis in the community. So you've done good with that one. And what would you say your top goal is when it comes to your relationship with your body, your relationship with movement and feeling good in your skin?
I was that person, and I think a lot of us in the community will resonate with, when we were younger, maybe not everybody, but some of us, when we were younger, we used to do all the fitness things and go to the gym and lift the weights and do the treadmill and, push. And as time goes by and your body changes and your abilities to move the way that you used to move change, that's hard to accept. And with Loyobo, I've discovered that that's not the only way that you can work out. It's not the only way that you can love your movement and your body.
Yeah, and I think what you said is so important is I think there's so many expectations or societal rules, especially for women, around what happens to our bodies as we get older. And we can often blame ourselves or feel bad as things change or as things that once felt good maybe don't feel so good anymore, and really learning how to create our own rules and define what our life looks like for ourselves can be so important and so powerful. So yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's being able to modify movements and things that you would maybe be in that fitness culture. I don't know why I'm quoting, because the fitness
it's
diet
a thing. Yeah.
Is just, if you can't do it, don't do it at all. If you can't do it all the way, don't do it at all. I've discovered that to not be the case, because as you know, I've got some physical injuries, some setbacks. I think one of my biggest epiphanies since I started with Loyobo was the stability ball comp bodies. I was just like, oh my goodness, I'm doing all the things. And it doesn't hurt. It's fantastic.
And it doesn't hurt. Yes.
So exciting,
And even that, I love that too, is the use of props and supports and things that can make the difference. That's often seen, you're right, in fitness culture as a sign of weakness, but in reality, it can make the movement feel so good and so much more fun and so much more effective. So absolutely love that. I love stability ball for stretching. So good.
Yes. And then I got blocks. I got yoga blocks from my daughter, Taylor.
The more things we have, the more blocks and pillows, the better sometimes that stretching can be. So what's a challenge that you faced in your self-love journey? And what have you found to be helpful when working to overcome it? You mentioned this kind of, this all or nothing mentality and a lot of restrictions, limitations when it came to movement. Is there anything else that comes to mind?
Always, every time I would be having some kind of special event coming up, diet, hardcore diet. I have to look a certain way. That certainly has come up for me, and I'm really getting over that. That the Love Your Body program has really helped me so much, like exponentially, to feel like that does not matter. Nobody cares but me. Nobody's going, she would have been so much more fun at that event if she was, just about 10 pounds. I really, that has really resonated with me. It's really made a huge difference and the way I feel about myself. If I can't do 3 or 5 or 6 days a week movement, it's okay. It's okay. I think acceptance is a really big word that I have taken away from, well, I will keep with me because I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, I love that for you.
I'm yours for life, for sure.
Yeah. We've heard some snippets of it, but what was your life like before joining Loyobo FIT? How did you feel about your body? What did movement and your health and your relationship with food kind of look like?
Well, I think the phrase all or nothing
Mm-hmm.
describes me to a T from the time, I will say conservatively, 20 years old until now, and I am a very young 59-year-old woman. And I have struggled with that all or nothing the entire time. I'm either eating all of everything in sight and working out like I'm like, to the point of the pain, no gain whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
I am lying on the couch with a bag of Doritos,
And
and I
feeling all the guilt and the shame that comes with that end too.
1,000%
Mm.
immediately, every bite, I shouldn't be, and then, oh, I should, look at me, oh, this is great,
Mm-hmm.
look at me, I'm
Mm-hmm.
fantastic, you know what I mean? Like, no, well, never saying I'm fantastic, because I never thought
Mm-hmm.
that about myself,
Yeah.
fortunately.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And how would you say that your life has changed since joining the Loyobo community?
I feel more confident. I feel I think just looking at ads and things where I would think before, I feel like, oh, I wish I looked like her, or I wish I
Mm.
could do that. I don't feel that way anymore. I feel like, that's terrible, that poor thing.
Oh,
That
that's such a powerful shift, like not feeling the urge to compare and even feeling that, as you just said, that empathy and that understanding of, you know, that they're probably hurting and holding themselves to these standards and the guilt and the shame.
yeah, and not just the women and the men too, because especially now in January, I spend more time scrolling and getting rid of ads.
Ah, yeah.
Good day. It's
Yeah,
inappropriate. I don't want
taking
to see
back
that.
control.
It does feel that way. It does feel very good and satisfying. And I mean, not every single day. Of course, I have the self-doubt days. That doesn't go away immediately. It's been decades of
Hmm.
that ingrained those ingrained thoughts, but it's definitely been an amazing journey. I'm so pleased.
And what would you say your favorite part or benefit of being part of the Loyobo community is?
I think all the other women, I think just knowing that, I think we spend so much time thinking we're the only one that does or feels the way that we do or feel
Hmm.
things. I mean, even though I think logically that you're not alone in that, but to hear other people actually verbalize that, actually say, I did this, I said that, I felt this way, and you're like, oh my gosh, I felt that way. Oh my
Hmm.
gosh, I did that. Oh, I'm here for you, girlfriend. That is huge for me, because I don't usually talk about that even with my
Hmm.
friends. They'd just
Yeah.
be like, oh, are you eating this? Are you not? It's okay. Like, oh, you look great. Or we don't do that in Loyobo.
Hmm.
We
Yeah.
support each other to be who we are, not like, oh, it's okay, you want to lose 10 pounds, I'm here. No, no.
Hmm.
We all love each other for being together and supporting each other that
Yeah,
way.
we're all doing the same work with the same goals. And I think I'm so glad that you feel that way, because diet culture really wants you to feel alone, and it really wants you to internalize that shame and that blame. And less we talk about it, the more money and the more, that we perpetuate those feelings of isolating ourselves and feeling abnormal and feeling broken. So it's by connecting with one another, it's by sharing our stories, it's by sharing our struggles that we can start to feel really differently and make sure that we don't feel alone, that we feel supported and have those people with us. So I'm so glad. And you're right. I feel like that's like the best part of the Love Your Body program, is really bonding in a whole new way with other women that we don't often see in friendships or in coworkers, because it is that kind of like explicit permission and that shared purpose and that shared space. So I'm so happy that you got to experience that. And what is your favorite memory or achievement during your time, either in the Love Your Body program or the Loyobo community?
Say, with the first thing that pops into mind, it was Zumba. It was a Zumba class that I did with you.
Really?
And I was just fumbling around. I couldn't get the moves, and and I was doing it with my daughter, wonderful daughter, and she's like, "It doesn't matter. Like nobody cares. Just do it." And I just loved it. It was like, oh, I can't get this.
Oh,
So much fun. I was laughing and sweating, and I just loved it. It was amazing.
that
You know,
makes my heart so happy.
yeah, it made my heart happy.
Yeah, we gotta embrace the flail. We all have our
Yeah.
flaily, and it can just feel so good when you just let it happen.
Yeah, and we did that one a couple of weeks ago too, or just before Christmas. We did a class, and somebody was feeling kind of down, and you said, "Let's just get up and all just like shake around and just
Yeah.
just."
Woo!
And we all just did it, and it was so awesome. And I didn't, for once in my life, I didn't look at myself. I have a mirror in here.
Mm,
I didn't look at
yeah.
myself and was like, "Oh, what are people thinking I look like? What's jiggling?
Mm.
What's moving? What's not moving?" I didn't give a shit. I didn't give
Yes.
I didn't give a
That's
poop emoji.
so powerful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was great. Yeah,
So
yeah,
knowing that, for so many of us, taking that first step is really hard, especially, if we've been a part of fitness communities or been to gyms before where we've felt judged, where we've had comments made, where we have felt intimidated or excluded. Shelley, if you can think back to what helped you make that decision, what helped you to say yes to becoming a member, to joining the Love Your Body program, what is any advice or what would you like to say to somebody who is just starting their self-love journey or thinking about getting started with Loyobo?
well, I just want them to know that you'll never be alone. There are so many tools and choices and people to listen to reach out to. I never feel like there's not someone available for me to
Mm,
to say, "I'm having a rough day." I love that you post, "How are you feeling?" I
mm-hmm,
want people to know. The one thing I said earlier was, you always feel that kind of shameful, "I'm all alone. I'm the only person that's
mm-hmm.
feeling this way or doing these shameful things." You're not, and it's not shameful.
Yeah.
It's only that way because that's what we were told that it was. And it's
Yeah.
not shameful to love who you are and be who you are and eat what you want to eat
Yeah.
without repercussion of the finger
Again,
wag.
yeah, that blame and shame and guilt coming in. You're right. It's so powerful, and I love that, and I hope if you're watching this, if you're listening, we're here. We're ready to support you. We walk the walk and we talk the talk. That it is a different sort of space, and everything is built on those values of body acceptance, of fat celebration, and really finding the joy in our bodies. So, is there anything else that you want to make sure that you share today, Shelley?
I want to show you that I picked this top out to wear for my session today. This is
Yes, you are. I love that. And I love the little like shimmy that you gave me with it too.
I got that from you. You're the shimmier.
That's the Zumba. That's the flail, right? That's
I
the
love it.
Zumba.
I love it. I
All
love it.
right,
I love you. I love Loyobo. It's just everything. It really has changed things for me. It makes me a little.
Well, thank you so much, Shelley. Again, I am so happy to celebrate you and all the work that you've put in, the way that you've been showing up, the way that you've been asking questions and discovering things about yourself, the way that you've been eating the ice cream and enjoying the
Yeah.
leftovers. So many proud moments this fall. And I'm really grateful that you're a part of our community. Thank you so much for all of your support. Thank you for sharing with us. And if you are watching this and you have any questions, either for me or for Shelley, feel free to reach out. And let's give Shelley some love in the comments below.